Hey, I miss you.
I miss you.
I miss you so much. Corinne Chapman, can I sing a song at your face?
Please.
Hey, I miss you, and I hope you're doing well. I miss you and hearing your music IRL. So I am thinking that you sing me a song or two while I just sit here in my bathroom saying, hey, I miss you. I do.
Oh, that makes I'm like almost tearing up. I
I
miss
know.
you.
I know. Uh,
Your listeners
everybody,
are going to feel like this extreme love coming through the screen. Hopefully.
oh yeah. This is Corinne Chapman, and I'm just going to give you a warning that I always miss my guests. That's always true. And it's probably like, you know, true plus a million right here because Corinne is one of my dearest and oldest. You're only 29, but we've just been friends
Right.
forever.
Just
So
as far as time goes, we've been friends for
yes,
a long time.
yes, lengthy friendship. Okay, I'm sitting in my big green bathroom in suburban Minnesota, and you've never been here, which is a shame. But I would love if you would tell our listeners, our watchers, where you are right now.
Well, you've been here in
Yeah,
this very room.
yes,
I've written songs in this room.
yes.
I am sitting in my living room in Nolensville, Tennessee, which is just south of Nashville, maybe 30 minutes.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
It is.
I
I
definitely
mean,
want to.
today I'm wearing this yellow today because I just was like, I walked my kids to school. It's almost 60 degrees.
Oh, shut your face!
I
I
know,
don't think
I
you're
know,
supposed to tell me that.
I know, but the other day it was like 19. So, so we got lots of junk going on. It's fine.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Well, I will accept your warmth. I will accept your sunny
My sunny
outfit.
disposition. Yeah.
Well, that for sure. Yes. Okay. So then my next question is, how are you right now in this moment if I snap the Polaroid?
How am I sitting? No,
How are you? Yes.
I'm sitting like this.
Yes.
I'm great actually. This year I'm feeling really good. I'm excited. I feel like the post-COVID world, not quite there yet, but we're working on it. I'm ready for it. I'm excited. I just feel excited to see you. Really, if you were going to snap my picture, I'm just so excited to see you.
Yeah. Me too. Me too. Me too. Yes. Yes. Well, I'm going to show a picture of us. Like, here's someone did snap a picture once of us. Look at that. That was a birthday. It says you were turning 16, so that would make the math good.
Yeah. It was
Also,
probably, can I tell you for real what I was probably turning?
yeah,
30 maybe?
sure. I'm clutching that Coors Light like someone's going to take it from me.
But it's 16 all over again.
For sure. For sure. Would you sing us all a song and tell us why you chose the song you're going to sing, please?
Yeah. Yes, I will tell you why I chose this song. I really did not know what to play.
Mm-hmm.
I've got lots of old stuff, and I thought, oh, I should probably do something that I haven't played for a while or somebody hasn't heard. And so I have these two guys. I'm gonna make a shout out to them right now.
Yeah.
I call them Stalker and Heckler, and I know you know who they are. I used to do these shows in Atlanta area, and they came to the shows, and one of them, I dubbed Stalker, and he would text me before the show, and they asked me if I would come meet their kids, and Heckler would always yell things from the audience, and I have an extreme love for these two because they show up at shows and they're just amazing people, and I love their families. I've met their families, and I've gone to see them. Stalker's daughter came here to play volleyball, and I came to watch her just recently because she's going to Mizzou next year. Anyway, all that to say, I sent them a message yesterday and was like, hey, so what song should I sing? So I asked them, and they told me what song I should sing, and so I'm choosing that. This one is called Mine. You'll see I've kind of chosen, I guess, two autobiographical songs today to play, since it was about me, and most of the time songwriting is just about writing songs, but today I chose this. So this one's called Mine.
Love it. So here I'm
Um,
going to press the button. Watch
Watch
Corinne
Corinne
Chapman,
Chapman,
everybody.
everybody.
Mom and Dad grew up in this town. It's gonna be their final resting ground. It ain't mine. This is where they lived out their dreams. I know they have big plans for me. They ain't mine. The feel of the window down breeze, the will to keep burning full speed, and that long stretch of highway for me to climb. The line between the dirt and the blue, the time to get somewhere new. Yeah, that's mine. Too many times a person's past can be the vice that holds them back. It ain't mine. This is home I won't forget. Never chasing life is one regret. It won't be mine. The feel of the window down breeze, the will to keep burning full speed, and that long stretch of highway for me to climb. The line between the dirt and the blue, the time to get somewhere new. Yeah, that's mine. I see the gravel flying underneath, and I know now what belongs to me. The feel of the window down breeze, the will to keep burning full speed, and that long stretch of highway for me to climb. The line between the dirt and the blue, the time to get somewhere new. Yeah, that's mine. Oh, that's mine. Yeah, that's mine.
I had to press all the buttons.
yes. Minus
Yes.
like a few wrong chords.
No, you sounded beautiful. So that is track one off of one of your albums that we'll talk about in a little bit. This is Hey, I Miss You. So I invented this show because I have another show called Toilet Tunes,
Yes.
where people would come into my big green bathroom and sing with me, and then COVID happened, and while it's big, it's not big enough for any amount of distance. So Toilet Tunes had to take a pause, and a meaningful pause, I guess.
Yes.
And then I really started missing having an excuse to collaborate with musician friends, and I really missed singing. So when I was singing live streaming to my own face, I was tired of it. And I was like, I bet that my friends are tired of it. And I bet some of my friends might want to sing at my face instead of their own face. And so that is where Hey, I Miss You came to be. So you were kind enough right now to just sing at my face, and I really appreciate it. So that is Hey, I Miss You. And my name is Sarah Morris. If you are just joining us for the first time ever, that's who I am. And this is my guest, Corinne Chapman. Corinne has, and I'm not like exaggerating at all, but like you're one of the biggest influences like in my life. Like I really could get all weepy about this, but
I am. What are you, like Barbie Walters right now or what? Oh gosh.
so I got to meet Corinne when I moved to Nashville, Tennessee as a young whippersnapper, and you were also a young whippersnapper. And I started working at this restaurant because it had trees growing from the roof, and I thought that looked intriguing. And on my first day, as a waitress trainee, they said, "Here, follow this lady, Corinne Chapman." And you took me under your wing, under your aproned wing, and yeah, and it's been, the rest is history. You taught me about songwriting. You taught me how to be a generous community member, how to always shout out like the accomplishments of others, how to be fair in financial dealings with like big and little things. Also, you're why I got engaged, right?
Gosh, I'm like weeping over here.
Well, just, and I used to get to be in your band. And if you right now are like, the bus is ready, get on it, Sarah Morris, and sing harmony and maybe shake a tambourine. Oh, I know where my tambourine is.
Yeah, we're working on that though, right? We're working on it.
Yes.
This is part of my plan for the year.
I'm ready for that. Okay.
I want to sing for you, and you want to sing for me. So let's do this.
Well, that's
and I'll stop crying.
I don't sing on this show. You know that, right?
I know. I'm saying in general.
Oh, yeah. Oh, good. In general. I have to take off my sweater because I'm getting hot from all my emotions. Okay.
It's hot in here.
So take off your extra layers. Okay. So Corinne Chapman, you were born in California in a magical place where you're Southern California, so you're beach, but you're also mountain. Just, would you tell us like a little bit about your story?
Sure. I grew up in a little town called Twin Peaks. Not to be confused with the movie TV show. Yeah. Wasn't that crazy or weird? Maybe. But I grew up, it was about 6,000 feet up. There's a little town called Lake Arrowhead, which is like the main town in that area. And then there's another town over on the mountain called Big Bear. So usually people will know one of those two. You might have had Arrowhead water that came from where I grew up. But I grew up in the mountains. My parents were both teachers, and, they just always had us experiencing things, being outdoors, going hunting, going hiking, I didn't really hunt. I mean, well, I hunted lizards, but I didn't hunt other things. I just liked when they would do their push-ups on the rocks. Anyway, that's mean. Anyway, that was my part of thing, doing with my brothers, playing war, and we made our rubber band guns and we would hide in the mountains. But we were pretty close to everything else. It would take us maybe an hour and 15 minutes to get to the beach. So, you can't grow up in California and not love to be outdoors and be at the beach. So mountains, beach, desert, Palm Springs was only about 45 minutes. So between all of those things, I just got a really well-rounded love for the outdoors and for, people, and being with others, and I like the solitude of being by myself on a hike, but I really also like hiking with somebody and having those meaningful conversations there.
Yeah. You didn't start out singing as a first love. You were a serious gymnast, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And what turned you, from like a serious gymnast as something that I know that takes up so much time, it would be very hard to pursue that and pursue music. So what was the dance over there?
It was really interesting. So when I was about 10, I was kind of when I was like in the really hard initial meet of being a competitive gymnast. And my mom signed me up to take some guitar lessons from this girl. And I still remember, seriously. Let's see. I think it's like, black and orange stray cat sitting on a fence. That was my first song I ever learned, like Stray Cat Spread, right?
That's awesome.
And it was from this awesome, cool, she was like 26, rocker. She's always in black. And it was so cool. She was around my gymnastics. So I could go to that and then go immediately to my practice. And I did that for a while. But I kind of got to a point where it was like, well, I had to choose because I had practice every day. It was 3 hours every day, Monday through Friday. And so my mom said, well, I think we have to choose one or the other. And of course I was a better gymnast, so I chose that. it was kind of a no-brainer. I wasn't really thinking about my long-term future. Of course, later in life, I was like, oh man, if only I would have thought about that, I would have been so much further along. And then in junior high, my mom knew that I still really loved to perform. And so she found this group called the Carly Moultrie Performing Arts, or Carly Moultrie Singers, or whatever it was. Her two daughters were unbelievable. I think her daughter, not Emily, but I can't remember her name, but she was the one that beat Tiffany on Star Search. So, but they were amazing, both of them. And so I sang with them, and we sang in a group, and we performed all over the place for even for big things like Merv Griffin, and we did all these, but I was still a gymnast. And again, I got to a crux probably 2 years later. I was getting hurt a lot, and man, it was just constant. And my mom said, okay, I think we're at a point again, because that was, of course, an hour away. To get anywhere from the mountains was an hour. So we drove from Lake Arrowhead to Anaheim every day. And it's about an hour and 15 minutes, hour and 20 minutes, minus traffic.
Yeah.
So then at that point I was like, okay, I do want to choose this. So then I went and did that. And then, just danced and sang. And I never sang in choir in school. I really wanted to my junior high year, but I moved to a different school for 2 years. And so I didn't do it. And then I didn't do it in high school, but I always sang. My mom would take me there was this place in Lake Arrowhead. It was just, honestly, I guess I have to just say it was my mom. My mom understood my love for it and kept giving me opportunities to choose it. So
that's beautiful.
We were in the village, and it's this place on the lake that has, it's where all the retail is. And so we would go to the village, and there was this place called the Jalapeno Tree. And it was this little taco Mexican place. It wasn't like a sit down. You just go in, you kind of order your stuff. And I don't really know how this came about, but I would take my little karaoke machine. And remember back when they had you could go in and you could record a song in the studio.
Sure do. Sure do.
They give you the tape, and then they give you the tape of you singing it, but then they'll also give you the tape without you singing it, so you can sing it again. Yeah. Mm-hmm. We would do that. And so I'd have all these tapes, and my mom would trade out the tapes, and I would be literally standing in them. No one was paying attention. It wasn't like a stage or anything. I would set up my little karaoke thing with my microphone, and I would pace back and forth. And that was it. I would just be back and forth. My mom would say, you have to move when you're talking or singing. And I'd go back and forth. And then she would say, well, you have to move more. So I'd go back and forth, and they'd take a step back. Or I'd take a step back. And that was it. It was she just would put me out there. People would stop and listen, and I'd get a little crowd, and then I'd be like, all right, I'll be back in an hour. It was so weird. I didn't play for money. Yeah. I just played for the exposure to get out there. And my mom would never have made me do it if I was mortified and wouldn't want to do it.
Yeah.
She'd be hey, do you want to do this? And I'm like, okay. And so again, she just constantly gave me opportunities to choose the things she felt like I loved the most. And I did eventually.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Then you went to Stanford, not for music.
No, but I did, when I was applying to Stanford, I did go up and I did have a vocal audition for, because I wasn't sure what I wanted to do.
Sure.
I had just come off being a page for the Congress. And so I loved politics, but I didn't think I wanted to major in it. I tried out, I also did an audition for the dance department there, and that was really awesome. And then I remember singing I Dreamed a Dream in French. I don't know. But, and my brother was at Stanford. So all of his fraternity brothers came and watched. It was so nerve wracking, but it was so cool because I thought, okay, if I make it here, I have a support group already. My brother and I were always, we've always been really close. So it was cool. I went there. I did, I sang in an a cappella group, which is kind of the thing you do in college.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. So I sang in an a cappella group my freshman year. loved it. I was what they call a dolly my sophomore year, which was we danced. So anytime you see the Stanford band and you see the girls dancing with them, that was me. You can only do it for a year because of the time commitment. And then my junior year, I was the lead in this play called Gaieties, which is a musical that we do around the time that we play the big game, Stanford versus Cal. And so I was always doing musical things or things that were associated with the arts while I was studying. So
what brought you to Nashville then?
Major in it.
But then you moved to Nashville and you were ready to write songs, right? I mean, you knew that right away.
Yeah, I knew I wanted to sing, obviously. I did pick up the guitar again my senior year in college, and I went and took it from this really cool folk player that was right near campus. And so I wanted to play because I thought, I need to figure out my voice. I always wrote poems and I always wrote lyrics and things like that, but I couldn't put them to music. Yeah. And so when I moved to Nashville, I thought, well, that's the thing I have to work on. That's the only thing that's going to make me feel satisfied in my endeavor to become anything beyond a person sitting on my couch singing.
Well, look at you. You're a person on your couch singing. But in a super glamorous way. That's amazing. So you've been in Nashville now for 21 years. You've had cuts by Jody Messina, we were talking about, and Canadian cuts, which to me sounds like it could be a TV show, but Canadian cuts. Also, oh crap, I did this. Someone else, I got so excited about talking about you, Corinne, that I totally never said we're doing right now. In case you missed it, ooh. Yeah. That's okay. I did this a couple episodes ago where I just was like, I'm so jazzed to talk to you. I'm going to forget exactly what I'm doing. So we're going to have to come back to something else. But okay. So in case you missed it, we're still talking to Corinne. She's still telling us. So you're in Nashville. You've been there now for 21 years. I'm wondering if you can think, besides the traffic, besides the cost of the amount of cranes in Nashville, what would you say is the most profound shift you've seen in town?
Oh, unfortunately, it has to do with music.
Yeah.
And that is that if you remember, we used to go and do rounds in the middle of the week downtown on Broadway.
Yeah.
And we could park on the street.
Yeah.
And you cannot do that anymore. Downtown is there's so many people. It is so fun to go downtown. Don't get me wrong. But, all the places that we used to frequent, the studios that we would go to, the places, publishing companies that we would go write at, none of them are there anymore. So I feel like the sense of community that we had as songwriters here has all but vanished. It's there. And of course, then I'm sure COVID has just completely wiped it all out, because any semblance of us getting together was then turned into going onto Skype or, writing when you weren't in person. So I think that that's the saddest thing for me, but also the most profound change, because you used to, as a songwriter, be able to literally run into anybody at any given time, going anywhere.
Yeah.
So now you really have to plan it. You really have to plan to see somebody, to run into somebody, or go to an event that is specifically for music. And so I do feel like there's a little less creativity kind of bubbling.
The natural collisions have stopped happening. Yeah. When I was there with you, I mean, you had a publishing deal. You were very dedicated to your co-writes. And, that's one of the things that you taught me how to do. And also I just learned a lot by watching your dedication to, showing up for your person on time, the way to stay open in a session. And we also used to run around and have a real good time. And I found this is one of our first rounds that's at the restaurant we worked at. Oh, right? Check us out.
Oh, look, I still sit like that. I mean, I can't believe I do that still. I cannot keep my shoes on for the life of me, and I always have to wrap my legs. That's funny.
That's true. You're shoeless often. This is us more recently in around. Look how much fun we're having. But we used to go. I mean, I feel like you would run around town and you'd meet people all the time, or we'd find ways into like fancy parties that we didn't belong, and it would still feel like right.
Wait, right? What was our state? Like, just act like you're supposed to be here.
For sure, and we did. We sure did. You released 2007 Corinne Chapman, your self-titled album, and then in 2011 there's Dirty Pretty Things, and Mine, which you sang already. That's the first track off of that album. In recent years, you've started a company, not music related at all, or 12, but it's called Nesting Project. It's blossomed. I mean, I feel like you were in my living room, my old house, when it was mostly t-shirts, but it's so many things now.
Yeah. So it's funny because it's still a life, like it's still a creative thing. I don't think I could have committed myself to that if it wasn't. I started it with a friend of mine. Her name was Kelly Williamson, and she loved to throw parties. Things have changed and she's no longer with the company, but I mean, I will always have that kind of love in my heart for the fact that we just took a chance on each other and a chance on this thing. I don't think I would have been here. I mean, and I don't say that to say I don't love it. But I don't think that I would have chosen to be here if it hadn't been for us starting that, because it's a life event design and print company.
Yeah.
We design for, we do wedding invitations, which really is how it started. It was for my wedding. And I was like, you could market these. And she's like, well, like, no, really, you could. And then at the time, both of our husbands lost their jobs. And so what kind of was this like fun thing that we were doing all of a sudden was like, we gotta make money doing this now because our husbands just lost their jobs. And we both, I was pregnant. She had just had her son a year or two before. So we were just in that spot. And it's blossomed. It's gone through a lot of changes and it's been really hard. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
Especially we were on this really nice trajectory up and then the pandemic hit. And I mean, I just said we were a life event design and print company. So life events all but stopped. So we were doing a lot of pivoting, but that was good. I mean, I have an awesome staff. I couldn't come back to this where I am today without having them there or giving it up completely. So I can't be more grateful to them for being who they are and taking their job as seriously for themselves as they do for me. So I will give them a shout out. I don't know if they'll ever listen to this, but
they're telling you, all of them listen.
But I'm super appreciative of them, and it has grown. It's grown really big, and then we've contracted quite a bit. But trying to grow in a really good, healthy way now. I own a little DIY studio too, which is it's a franchise, but it's called AR Workshop in Franklin, and that's fun too because again, it's creative. I'm just I actually own it. I don't know if I told you this, but I own that with Rob and Tammy and Tori and her husband, so my old neighbors. Who are really like my family here. Yeah. So it's fun. And then, some real estate and things like that. Just, I feel like I had my hands in a lot of different things because I love music, but I don't want to depend on music because when I depended on music, I lost a little bit of the love for it.
Yeah. Have you ever read Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert?
No.
Well, it's a beautiful book. And she has a piece in there, like, don't put the burden of your livelihood on your art.
Oh my gosh.
And it's that exact idea, right? Like let that place still be that magic and that love for you. And I love that story about, starting the business because I just think it highlights things that I know about you, which is that you're really dedicated to your people and you're really dedicated. You're the hardest. You're like such a hard worker in anything you do. And you always find ways to bring together and to give back. Because I know Nesting Project does a lot of that. I need to interrupt this place where I went wrong and ask you to tell me something good.
Yeah.
Tell me.
Well, I think this is going to be really crazy and it's going to be completely off of this subject. But I think it shows what I really love about life and growth. So here's my tell me something good.
Yeah.
My daughter just turned 8. She turned 8, and for her 8th birthday, she got a loft bed. And so we put the loft bed up in her room, and we cleaned it all out. We took all of the crap out of the room. I mean, she just had so much stuff.
Oh,
you know?
sure she does.
And she is so artsy that, like, just tiny little papers everywhere that she cuts and she puts things together. And so we took all of that out and we put it back. And and then my son was like, oh my gosh, her room is so awesome. I need that bed. And I said, well, your room is bigger.
Yep.
So let's just move it. I used to do this all the time. I used to move stuff around my room all the time because I thought it was cool. And so he's like, okay, so we moved his room around and he cleaned his room. And so both of them now for 2 weeks have had really clean rooms and are super proud of themselves. And Scarlett even said to me 2 nights ago, she goes, I said, man, Scarlett, I am so proud of you for keeping your room so clean. And she said, yeah, I just don't know why I've become so responsible since I got my loft bed.
Yeah.
So
I love that.
That's my tell me something good.
So
I love to see growth, and I love that I couldn't ask for anything more when it comes to, them growing and becoming little people themselves. It's so cute.
Oh, I love that so much. Thank you for sharing that with us. Just to round out in case you missed it, I know, because I know you, that you made a special commitment to writing this year and to saying yes to music. Can you touch on that briefly and then sing us another song?
Sure. So every year I pick a word. So, a few years ago it was roots, and I made a list of all the things that made me who I am. And then I sought those out. Like, I went back and I danced. I was in a dance company, and I studied in France. So I took French again that year, and we went to France that summer. Just things that made me who I was. I wanted to make sure I didn't lose those. Things that made me who I was that I didn't care about, I let go. I did.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
But this year my word is create. And I thought of a bunch of different words, but I think it came down to the fact that I want to create jobs. I want to create community. I want to create memories. I want to create art. So all of those things came back to me where I said, okay, 2020 was supposed to be my year that I really dug back into music. Fell short for obvious reasons. Mm-hmm. And so at the end of this last year, I thought, no, that's where I wanted to be 2 years ago. There's no reason why I couldn't be there today. And I could have done it that whole time. It just wasn't in the right mind space.
Yeah.
So I made a commitment, and you have always asked me to be a part of your songwriting group. And
always.
And I was going to do it last fall, and I couldn't get myself around it. And so I committed to saying, no, my word is create. Anybody who asks me to do anything musical, that I will say yes to, unless I have something already that I cannot get out of. So, but if I can move something around and it's musical, I'm going to say yes to it this year. And so, I kind of took that from another friend of mine Mike. Mike?
Yeah.
His name's Mike Corinne, and he said, said one year that he was never going to say no, which he was really tired at the end of the year, but he got, he found his wife, all these things that he did got him to the place that he is now. And I was like, well, I can do that with just music. I can't say yes to everything. I'm trying to say no more to other things.
To say yes to music,
yes
right?
To music.
Yeah, I love that. And so you're 4 prompts in, and I just feel like the world is better off for the fact that we're getting more Corinne Chapman songs. Would you sing us one?
Yes. So one thing that I, with a prompt that I committed to myself to write all the prompts by myself, which is not something I'm so used to writing with other people, because I know that I'm better because of it, because I think of an idea and then they flip it around on me and I go, oh yeah, that's amazing. But I decided this year, there's only a few songs. There's only one recorded on any record that I've done.
Paper Doll.
Paper Doll. Yeah, that's right. And so I was like, no, I need to write more by myself and just commit to that. So but this prompt was super hard for me, but I'm going to do it. this prompt was called Badge. And I was like, you can, so just in case nobody, and some people know, but some people don't, when you have the prompt, it can be, it's just meant to be an inspirational word. Like,
just prompts you.
You can put it in your song.
Or
you can
not.
make it be the title. You could just write all around it, but never say the word. I mean, it's just to be something. It's a gift that you are supposed to use. But I really wanted to use employee badge for some reason. And I guess going back to that music for me is that, like, okay, you know what? I have done that. I've lived this life, but I also, now I'm a business owner and I have to pay all these bills and I have to pay all my employees. And I have a massive dedication to making sure that they live okay, sometimes to my detriment. But I thought last year, like, but I'm not just that person. That is definitely who I am. I'm a business owner, and I don't like the word boss. I am like a team leader, I guess is how I would say it. But I didn't want to just be that person. And sometimes I have to convince myself that I'm not. So that's where this comes from. It's called Employee Badge 123.
Okay, I'm going to press my buttons. You go on.
Oh, yes. Okay. Well, and I have to look at the words because I literally wrote this at 12:30 on Saturday night. Like, just, I don't know it very well, so.
Watch the news, people living large. No one really knows who's in charge. Dream that dream in Rotterdam, it was a scam. I moved on. The glitz is dead, but the factory pays. Working nights, sometimes days. My feet are tired and my back is shot. It's a lot. Something's gone. I feel the push, I feel the pull. Something's stirring in my soul. So I pray with my calloused hands and my beat up heart. I pray to keep walking the walk and punching the clock. Somewhere deep down I'm praying for me, that I'm not just employee badge 123 now. I calculate, I work the math. I can only see one clear path. 6 a.m.s in uniforms, I mourn. Is it wrong? I feel the push, I feel the pull. Something's stirring in my soul. So I pray with my calloused hands and my beat up heart. I pray to keep walking the walk and punching the clock. Somewhere deep down I'm praying for me, that I'm not just employee badge 123 now. Sometimes you gotta choose before you lose everything. So I pray with my calloused hands and my beat up heart. I pray to keep walking the walk and punching the clock. Somewhere deep down I'm praying for me, that I'm not just employee badge 123 now. No. Somewhere deep down I'm praying for me, that I'm not just employee badge 123 now.
Oh, I love it so much, Corinne. I'm going to encourage everybody watching to follow the challenge in general, but you can keep your eyes peeled for Corinne's entries which might come at midnight right before the prompt. But if she does that, she'll turn around and write another song the next morning by 11 a.m. It's no big deal to her. Okay, I'm going to
I
ask
was like,
you.
I got to get this done.
You're on a roll, baby. Okay, this is the time where I ask you to spin us out. What are you listening to that's making your ears hot? So take us and spin us out to something new to listen to.
Oh my gosh. I love the Cannons. Cannons are awesome.
Okay.
I mean, I need my husband here because literally during the day he's my DJ. And
Lexi's good DJ too.
And he literally just walked out the door when he saw me look up in the middle of the song because he walked into the room.
Bye, Dylan.
I do love them. Let me think for a second. I mean, okay, can I come back to that? Because I feel like there's so many and I'm feeling overwhelmed with how many.
All right. But it's also okay to just give us one. I know,
Okay.
right?
Cannons.
I'm good. Okay, sweet. Now, action item. What is one thing we can do to follow you?
Well, okay, so I used to be pretty good about my music Facebook, which was Corinne Chapman.
Yeah.
And maybe it's just Corinne Chapman. Maybe it's
I think
Corinne
it
Chapman
is.
music, or maybe it's Corinne Chapman.
I'm going to find out.
Okay, find out.
I'm going to link to it.
But I am going to be better about that. I will put, as I get my schedules up, I will put them up. And then these song challenges that I'm doing, I will do actual work tapes that are not me in the middle of the night. Like trying to be quiet because my kids are upstairs sleeping.
I don't like the magic of those, but I respect that.
Yeah, so okay. I will do, and then I will put those up there. So I'm going to be kind of getting those things back up and rolling now that I have an action item myself, and that to get things done and booked.
Following Corinne on Facebook, and I will make that very easy for you. I will link to everything below. I need to thank you so much. I loved the heck out of you, and it was just such a joy to see you. This is the time I have to thank my patrons, my Sarah subscribers. Oh my gosh, I love them. Someone said they were always looking for their name on this, which I thought was amazing. I go pretty fast by there, but your names are all on there. And I need to thank everyone for watching. We'll be back next Friday at noon, and we're kind of in a theme right now where another waitress from the same restaurant is going to join us next week. So it's an amazing thing. Can I sing the theme song one more time?
Please.
Hey, I miss you, and I hope you're doing well. I miss you and hearing your music IRL. So I am thinking you sing me a song or two. I just sit here in my bathroom saying, hey, I miss you. I miss you. And I hope you're doing well. I miss you and hearing your music IRL. So I am thinking that you sing me a song or two while I just sit here in my bathroom saying, hey, I miss you.